Welcome back to MeatballCraft episode 2. Today we are going to be first starting off by trying to get the Tinker Smeltery IO. This will help make the smeltery much better. It works like the casting table, except for it is in one single block, which makes it a lot easier, and also I think it's a lot faster, though I haven't actually used it myself. This is because although a lot of the raw ingots like iron, gold, tin for example have EMC, none of the alloys do, so we'll need to be doing a lot of alloy smelting, and this is one of the quickest ways to do it early game. We also want to be getting into some power at this stage, as well as other sorts of infrastructure, so we'll see how we get on. So to be able to get the smart output for tinkers, we need sandstone and ice. Sandstone's easy enough, grout has EMC, so we can easily make that. I think to make the sandstone specifically though, we have to cast it from the smeltery, so we can do that very easily, but we also need ice. To be able to get ice, we could have silk touch, or we could make the zero ring, which as it says freezes surroundings as well as creates ice from water buckets, and to make this it's only 2 dark matter and an iron band, which is just iron around a bucket of lava, so it shouldn't be too hard to make. And with that we'll be able to make the smart output. And because it's easier than always finding lava, I'm also going to make the vulcanite amulet, which is 3 dark matter and 6 lava buckets. So there we have 1 vulcanite amulet, 1 iron band, and the zero ring. By using that we can make ice, which has EMC, so we can make 4 very easily. And now we are able to have the smart output. Okay, so the way it works is you use the SID faucet to pour the metals from the smeltery into the smart IO. It fills up and then it outputs like so. There are upgrades for the output, so I'll try and make a couple of them and see what they're like. I made slot upgrades. They have EMC, so they're nice and easy, and now the max output is 64 instead of just 1. It does work with a hopper underneath it, so yeah, so that's a much quicker way to be able to get ores out of the smeltery. Most of the mob drops don't have EMC in this pack. We need to make a mob farm. It's recommended to make several mob farms, including specific ones which use the mob duplicator to duplicate mobs stuck in safari nets. So to be able to use the mob crusher and the mob duplicator, we will need power. I'm not quite sure what we're going to use yet, not these because they're a different sort of mod. It's important that we start thinking about this now to get power sorted so we can start progressing in terms of technology. So hopefully we can find a nice sustainable resource. I normally like to use solar panels, but the mod for the solar panels that I normally use isn't in this mod pack, so I'll have to get a bit more creative than just using solar. Okay, so the plan is to go with the Magmatic dynamo, and that's because if we use the mechanical user, the vulcanite amulet, we are able to make lava just from basically thin air. So if we just have a way to make coal to power the vulcanite amulet, we are able to make lava pretty easily. So that should be the plan, and hopefully we'll get quite a bit of power from that. If we use the augment of isentrophic reservoir, which isn't really too hard to make apart from some alloys which we can do in the smelter, we can increase the power generation by quite a lot, and all it takes is some water, which is really easy to automate. So I'm going to try and get that done, and hopefully we'll have power soon. I was just hopping over to that village over there so I could do some more trading to get some more EMC, and I came across this rift from Dimensional Doors. It didn't look very good, so I've made a rift remover. This is made just with gold and an ascended jade, which I already had some of, so I've never stopped the rift. I think I just right click. Oh, I can only use it on the rift floor. Okay, well, it will close soon, so... Oh, it's got durability, so I can use it again. So hopefully that'll stop the rift, because it does seem to be growing. It has given world thread. Well, that's a quest. Okay, so I'll pick that up at least. So hopefully, yeah, it said it would close soon, so that's good, because this seemed to be growing and probably take over the world. Just on the way back from collecting some EMC, and I've just checked the rift and it has gone. While I was out, I was also collecting bees. Got a few of pristine stock, which is good, and the water drones here as well. I'm going to trade with this apiarist a little bit and see what I can get. Hopefully I can maybe trade for an apiary or something similar. So we'll see, just for a bit of fun. I don't know when we'll get into bees, but we do have gendustry, which should make them a lot easier, and they can generate a lot of resources. Plus I haven't played with bees in a really long time, and I do fancy giving them a go again in this playthrough, so see what we can get. With some birchwood and an emerald, I can get some apiaries, which is good. Apiary recipe requires an impregnated casing, which would need a carpenter, which needs a sturdy casing, which isn't too bad, but it's nice just to be able to buy it, especially when technically emeralds and wood are infinite. You can also get proven frames of him, which are very useful. These, I don't know the recipe actually. Oh yeah, it seems actually the only recipe that there is to buy them off villagers. They improve production rate and reduce the genetic decay of ignoble bees. Currently, the area around the house is spawning a lot of mobs. I don't know why, maybe it's the trees, but one way to remedy this is to make a mega torch, which prevents the natural spawning of hostile mobs. So it's not very expensive, and these mega torches have EMC as well. So we'll just make one of these and we will put it somewhere. I just put it out here for now. I've gone ahead and I've made a stack of magmatic dynamos. They're only the basic version. We could probably upgrade them all to hardened fairly easily. So we've got plenty of them for now. So we have an infinite way to generate lava just about. If we make some capacitor banks from Ender IO or some energy cells from thermal expansion, any of those will do. These are probably potentially okay. This one needs a lot of ender pearls and silicon and all sorts. Oh, that's got EMC, so we'll see what we can get. If we can have a few, even just a few basic capacitor banks, or oh yes, this requires mithril. We don't have a lot of that, so probably just make a lot of basic capacitor banks to store the energy for now, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. So a bit of time later, and we have a magmatic dynamo set up. We have 64 magmatic dynamos feeding into hardened flux ducts. We have a automatic lava production over here. We have a mechanical user using the vulcanite amulet onto a portable tank. Yes, it definitely is working. It's filling up with lava. It's not very fast, but we can always make another vulcanite amulet and add to this. It's still filling up the magmatic dynamos, which is what we want. We have a energy condenser to make coal. I've just put one red matter in this. In the future we will have ways to keep this automatic, but this will keep us going for now. And yeah, this just fills into all the magmatic dynamos. These feed into 4 different hardened energy cells. We have 3 over here and 2 over here. I went for these instead of capacitor banks because for the capacitor banks we need materials that require power to make, so we need an alloy smelter, but for now I think that's pretty good. Okay, so now that's all covered up, I think that looks pretty good. We can see where the power comes from. I might move these energy cells a bit later, but yeah. To be able to start making machines in Ender IO, we need to be able to make the machine chassis. So these machine chassis go for this recipe because we have the basic crafting table, and it's mostly just iron, but we do need a grain of infinity, and the way to get grains of infinity is to ignite bedrock. So to automate this, we can use the igniter from random things. This will keep this block here ignited, and then occasionally when this fire burns out, we get a grain of infinity. I've made 2 simple machine chassis. This is so we can make the simple alloy smelter and the simple sag mill. Now, to make the simple sag mill, we need crushed diamond, and the only way to get crushed diamond before we get the sag mill is through the quartz grindstone, which I have just made. This will pop down here for now. We won't need it for very long, so put that. You have to put a wooden hand crank into the top. I'll get some diamonds, just need 3 diamonds, and then we right click and hold, and we get some crushed diamond. Now we've made the alloy smelter and the sag mill, we will temporarily put them in here. Yes, they are both getting power. However, these will both be very, very slow, so the next aim is to upgrade them to the normal alloy smelter and the normal sag mill. As we're still waiting for the dark steel, I thought I'd set up a quick rubber setup. So this is my rubber processing one. Currently it is missing 1 block, but that block requires rubber to make. So we have a tree fluid extractor which extracts latex from acacia wood. This is the best source, at least it normally is. I'm not sure with the other types of wood, but we might as well just use acacia. This goes into the latex processing unit, which is taking water from an aqueous accumulator underneath it and the latex from the tree fluid extractor, and that produces tiny dry rubber which comes out here. And this tiny dry rubber can be used to make dry rubber, which when cooked makes plastics. Another part of the mob farm which we need is the drop of evil, which makes cursed earth on the floor, and to do that we need to kill wither skeletons. It's just a rare drop from one of them. You can probably do the damage, but stuff like magical attacks do a lot of damage. So what we need is better protection. I want to make the bedrock armor. With a full set of bedrock armor, we get explosion protection and fire protection, which will be very useful in the nether, and it takes bedrock chunks. The obsidian's fine, but we need rupee blocks, and because we need 24 chunks, we need quite a lot of rupee. I'm mining for that at the moment, but I'm also looking for this ore, which is an ascended sapphire, and that is because we require the ascended sapphire to be able to make the hammerhead pattern, and once we have the hammer it will make mining a lot easier. So I'm going to go do that and do some more mining, and hopefully we'll have some better armor soon. After some mining, we now have full bedrock armor. So now we have fire protection and explosion protection, so it'll be much easier to go and get a drop of evil from a wither skeleton. So we now have a jetpack. This will make finding a nether fortress much easier, and we can go get a drop of evil from a wither skeleton. Now we have the drop of evil, we can make the mob crusher to make a mob farm. Mob crusher produces mob essence, which can be used with the mob duplicator to duplicate specific mobs. So this will help us have a good mob farm. Hopefully we'll also be able to put one in the nether to get the nether drops. I will store the essence in a drum, as it can store this demonically gargantuan drum can store 65,000 buckets, which is more than we'll probably need for now, and it is one of the biggest storage methods we have access to at this time. One mob crusher and one mob duplicator. And now we also have the demonically gargantuan drum. I've also grabbed myself a range add-on, which will increase the range of the machine to +12. I have now set up the mob farm and it's working really well. Currently we need to sort out the storage a bit. Lots of enchanted books are coming, and obviously these are not going to go into the drawers properly. I've just made some cursed earth spawning area just behind here with some dark glass. In here is the spawning chamber. It is just cursed earth on the floor and it spawns lots of mobs. I've put a magnum torch on top to stop other mobs spawning and up the spawn rate in here, and hopefully we'll get lots of mob essence. We already have 4 buckets and lots of mob drops, including les rods, which is really nice. So I'm just going to try and sort out a way to store the enchanted books, and hopefully things will go well. I'm also going to put in some lights in the top to make sure we can turn the spawner off in case we want. I've made it so that enchanted books are filtered into this crate. I've locked all the drawers and added a few more to the side, so anything that's not already in a drawer will stay in the mob crusher until I find somewhere to put it. For example, this parasite, which I will eat, help me gain a heart, can put in there. Okay. Don't know what happened there. Hopefully no other blocks get broken. I hope that was just from the parasite and not a mob. Yeah, this does work. This seems to be working pretty well. I've been getting a lot of mob drops, so that's good. This is a good basic system. We're getting plenty of mob essence, so 60,000. So now we can make a mob duplicating setup. Just for fun, I think I will start getting into bees. Bees can be used to make EMC as well, as they can produce things like diamonds and emeralds. And also I think it would just be fun to play with them. Using the mod Gendustry, it can be made a lot more easy. The chance element is mostly removed from that, and a lot of the recipes for this have not been changed at all, so they should all still just be as simple as vanilla Gendustry. So by doing this, we can make lots of different types of bees, which can then end up producing things like nether stars and various other things. By the end of our trip, we got quite a few different bees. The species here says 0 out of 363 because we do not have the bee Eliza. I have got rid of any princesses which were not of pristine stock, as ignoble stock ones can die when mutating with quite a high chance, so pristine is pretty necessary for bee breeding. So we've got a good start of bees, a couple of queens from villages. So I'm going to make a few machines from Gendustry and we can get started. In vanilla forestry, you put bees in an apiary, and they have a chance of mutating if they are from a different species. However, with Gendustry, we can use mutagen, which is being produced by the mutagen producer, to go into the advanced mutatron. It's already got 900. For example, if we take a Meadows Princess and a Forest Drone, put it in the advanced mutatron, you can select a common queen. And the reason the mutatron was not working is because we need genetics labware in here. And once we have that, if we click on the common drone, we'll get a common queen. So we can put her in here. There's no, oh, it's too cold here. Okay, she's warmed up. There's no flowers around, so if we put some dandelions around the machine, oh, she still thinks it's too cold. To be able to increase the temperature, we can use heater upgrades. Yeah, we should be able to make them, so I'll make some upgrades to ensure that the bee wants to work. The upgrade, and now she's working because of that. I'll also be adding some speed upgrades as well to speed this process up, as we're looking for drones and not for combs. I'm currently breeding a noble queen. The aim is to get the imperial drone, and that's because the imperial drone produces royal jelly, which is used in the pre-production speed upgrades. So that'll just be very useful in bee production, so aiming for the imperial drone seems like a good first step. By using the majestic princess and the noble drone, we can get the imperial queen. That was honestly not painful at all compared to how bees used to be, so we're going to let them cook up in this. I'm going to take the lifespan upgrade out so that they can produce as much royal jelly as possible, and hopefully we'll be able to make some production speed upgrades from that soon. I have made a little chamber for the mob duplicator to spawn in. I'll try and cover this. This is the pipe that sends in the fluid essence, and we have power. So once we have captured a mob, we'll be able to put it in the mob duplicator and fight as much as we want. We just need to finish off the path outside. I would like to get into the elite crafting table stage, or stage 2 of the mod pack, and all I need to do is make the elite crafting table to be able to do this. So I'm currently cooking up plenty of iron shards to make the black iron for the components. That should be easy enough. I think we've got enough mithril. If not, I can go to the nether and find some, and then we just need a block of manulin. So shouldn't be too difficult. And fairly easily we are able to make the elite crafting table. This will unlock a lot of different things for us, including magic mods. Here is the whole new section. We can also make the last crafting table, which I think I might make. It seems fairly easy, and I've made plenty of black iron, so I might just quickly give that a go, just to have all the crafting tables available for us when we need them. And with that, we now have the ultimate crafting table, which is a 9x9 crafter. This will be used to make apparently lots of different recipes and can be automated. We also need it to make these Fluix seeds, which are what we need to do to get into magic. So we need the pure Fluix crystal, and the only way to make that is by using the ultimate crafting table. So now we've done that, we can get into magic, which will be very useful. To be able to make Fluix in the first place, we take charged Circus quartz, redstone and nether quartz and throw them into water, and it will produce us Fluix crystals. By combining Fluix dust with sand, we can make the Fluix seeds. To grow these, normally you throw them into a puddle of water and you wait a very long time. And by a very long time, I mean about 8 hours. There are ways to accelerate this, and probably the best way is the crystal growth chamber, which is made like this, which requires a lot of crystal growth accelerators, which are fairly cheap, and logic processors and chipsets. So we're quite far away from that for now. Even the machines leading up to it would take quite a while, so I'm going to just leave these for quite a while and see if we can get them to grow. While we are waiting for our seeds, we can check on our imperial drone and find that we already have 7 royal jelly. Now that we have a jetpack and we have to wait for the pure Fluix crystals to grow, I think it's time to find the end portal. And here is the portal. Wish me luck. Terrible noises. Okay, we've got some ender bees. It keeps poisoning me as well. That was such an annoying fight. I think leveling up the world has made it almost impossible to hit her. She was not fun in the slightest. Everything here poisons me. It's very annoying. While looking through the JEI, I found this recipe, which takes 4 blaze rods and a fire dragon heart, which is reusable for making diamonds, which makes a diamond. The EMC of all these blaze rods together is about 6,000, and 1 diamond is 8,000, so this could be a way to start an EMC farm. However, we do need to kill a fire dragon. So let's go see if we can do that. I have found a dragon's lair, and he does seem to be a fire dragon. Let's see what we can do about this then. I could have fire protection if I was on the ground, but I think it's easier to fight him from up here. Okay, he's dead. That was surprisingly easy. And there's his heart. 1 heart, some flesh, some scales, and some loot. I don't know how much of this is... Oh, the Abyssal Knight's nice. Does this turn into... Okay, this turns into gold, so we might as well take this. He also didn't seem to destroy too much of the world, which I thought he might. This genuinely didn't take very long at all. That was... I saw this on the map, flew to it, and it was already pretty much done. So I'll take this back and see if we can come up with a little setup to produce EMC for us. I've come up with a simple system to be able to duplicate diamonds. So we have 1 energy condenser here, which makes blaze rods. I've chucked a couple red matter in here just to get the system started. This goes into a crafter, which crafts the recipe for a diamond that I showed before with the fire dragon heart here, which doesn't get used up in the recipe. Diamonds are extracted into the energy condenser to make red matter, and this red matter will then be transferred back over into here to make more blaze rods. This will keep the EMC going for now, and hopefully we'll soon get a surplus. I will be upgrading these energy condensers to Mark II, but a Mark II energy condenser takes red matter blocks and dark matter blocks, and at the moment we do not have enough EMC to fund that. So after this has been going for a little while, it will be fine to upgrade. But yeah, so now EMC is infinite, and we'll be able to make any resources we want infinitely as long as they have EMC. A little bit of time later, and I have upgraded both energy condensers to Mark II. This means they'll run a little bit faster. It'll take a minute for them to re-warm up again because of using a lot of the red matter that I had in backlog to make the energy condensers. But yes, I've also made it make diamond blocks just to be a little bit faster, so we're now producing red matter at a better rate. I think I need to change this item duct to an energized one just so it speeds up a bit on transferring the red matter back over this energy condenser. But once we get more red matter, it should be a lot quicker. But yeah, now we have infinite EMC. I'll come back every so often to collect any excess red matter to then put back into the transmutation table, and eventually we'll get a personal EMC link, so we'll be able to feed the red matter straight back into the tablet without any other problems. I've come back about 5 minutes later, and already we have a surplus of 40 red matter, and it's just going up pretty much every second. So we might have to change this to be producing red matter blocks instead, and eventually higher and higher matters, but the system's working really well for passive EMC. Now that we have EMC automated, I have made a little passive generation for all the different alloys. There is a gap to add some more. I've got most of them at the moment, including dark steel, end steel, melodic alloys. So these will just cook away on their own. They're a bit slow. They've only got double layered capacitors. They're much faster for these ones. Stuff like the energetic alloy turning into the vibrant alloy is a bit slow because I have to transfer them over myself, and I'm manually filling the storage crates at the moment, but this is a good way to just passively store some alloys which will be vital in the future. So I think that's a good place to wrap up the episode. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.